The 1950s, an iconic era where Elvis ruled the airways and Marilyn filled our silver screens. It was also an era of great prosperity and post-war synergy. A loaf of bread sold for about 14 cents, and you could drive away in a new Ford sedan for less than $1,400. In many ways, life was much simpler in the 1950s, but for the victims of heart disease, it was far from shake, rattle, and roll. Today, heart disease remains the #1 killer of men and women in the United States. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention estimates about 1 in 4 Americans die from the disease every year. That adds up to about 600,000 people, and on top of that, an additional 700,000 Americans suffer heart attacks annually. The American Heart Association is a global organization leading the way in its fight against cardiovascular disease. At Bank West, we place our customers and our communities first, and one of our top priorities is promoting healthier lifestyles. We're proud to be a twist sponsor for the American Heart Association's annual Heart Ball, and we hope you'll join us in throwing on those blue suede shoes and twisting the night away. By working together, we can help ensure a brighter future for our friends and neighbors throughout the Black Hills region. That's what community banking is all about.
Good evening. I'm Jody Bender, Market President of US Bank. With the fast pace of our day, it's important to step back and reflect. The American Heart Association's campaign trademark message reads, "Life is why." These 3 words, life is why, is the reason we all came together tonight for the Rapid City Heart Ball. Every life in our community matters. The quality of our life matters. Therefore, we know there's more to be done. More heart research, more advancement. US Bank is proud to support our community of skilled medical professionals who work hard at this every day. We need our hearts to all be healthy. So this evening, look for opportunities to give, to reflect, and to thank all of whom have taken action to end heart disease and stroke.
Hello, I'm Steve Conzit, the Market President for Wells Fargo in Rapid City. Wells Fargo is a proud sponsor of this year's fabulous Heart Ball. We're not only committed to financial health, we're committed to the health and vitality of our Black Hills communities. Tonight you will put on your poodle skirts and leather jackets in official sock hop fashion to celebrate the healthcare professionals, donors, volunteers, and survivors. On behalf of Wells Fargo, I want to thank you for supporting the American Heart Association and the Rapid City Heart Ball, where our mission is to build healthier lives free of cardiovascular disease and stroke. Thank you and enjoy tonight's shindig.
Good evening and welcome to the Heart Ball. I'm Vance Crocker, Vice President of Operations at Black Hills Energy in South Dakota. Did you know that cardiovascular disease and stroke are the most common causes of death? Your presence here tonight, as well as your support, will help survivors, volunteers, and healthcare providers build healthier lives in our community. Our company's mission is improving life with energy, and we challenge you to do the same here tonight. Use your energy to stay heart healthy and active, and encourage those around you to do the same to create a healthy tomorrow. Thank you for supporting the American Heart Association and have a great evening.
Hello and good evening. I'm Kevin Dietz, Executive Vice President of Security First Bank in Rapid City. All of us at Security First Bank appreciate and recognize the positive impact the American Heart Association has on the prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease and stroke, which is why we are proud sponsors of tonight's event. Last year, nationwide, the Heart Ball campaign raised more than $71 million. I ask you to open your hearts and wallets to make tonight's event even more successful. By working together, we can help save lives. Thank you for attending and have a fabulous Heart Ball.
Good evening and welcome to the Heart Ball. I'm Mark Harlow and I am honored to represent Regional Health in our support of the American Heart Association. It has been nearly 25 years since I turned the corner on my way to the hospital and noticed that there was a large construction crane next to the tower. That crane was installing the signs that still adorn the top of our building. The signs carried our new logo, which, by design, had the image of a heart at its top. This represented the vision that cardiovascular care would be at the pinnacle of the center of excellence that we hope to become. Move forward a generation and now that vision has become our reality. With an extraordinary team of doctors, nurses, and support staff, the regional health heart doctors have become nationally recognized experts for their exceptional care of patients with heart and vascular disease. I would like to extend our sincere thanks to all in the regional health family and to the American Heart Association for their unwavering commitment to excellence and for their dedication to our shared mission to help our patients, their families, and our communities live well. Please enjoy this evening, and thank you for your generous support of this most worthy cause.
Good evening, I'm Jared Kottman, President of Northwestern Warehouse Allied Van Lines. We'll be a cool 85 years old this year. You might be thinking, wow, Daddy-O, he's aged very well over the years. And speaking of cool years, I'd like to welcome you all to the American Heart Association's 18th Annual Heart Ball. The American Heart Association's success starts with you. So a groovy high five to all the efforts of the volunteers, sponsors, and to each of you who've joined us here tonight to support this amazing organization. When you support the American Heart Association, you are joining others in the fight against our nation's #1 and #4 killers, heart disease and stroke. Your donations will support life-saving efforts as research, education, advocating for better health, improving patient care, and reaching populations at risk. In short, you are helping to save lives. So tonight, I challenge you, Daddy-O, to show how cool your heart is. Bid large, bid often, and have a groovy evening. God bless.
Hi, I'm Rich McGuire from Black Hills Insurance Agency. With the subject of health care coverage and how best to provide it to the country once again at the forefront of our national news, it couldn't be a more appropriate time for all of us to continue our financial support of the American Heart Association and our local heart doctors. As the complicated debate on how to provide affordable and quality health care to all Americans continues, every small effort made to further research and education contributes to the prevention of cardiovascular disease and stroke, which in the end will help to lower the cost for everyone without sacrificing their quality of care. We at Black Hills Insurance Agency appreciate the continued opportunity to participate in this process. Thank you for coming out tonight, and we hope you enjoy your evening.
Hello, my name is Perry Van de Steeg. Here at RCS Construction, we are a proud sponsor for the Rapid City Heart Ball and the American Heart Association's mission to create healthier lives, free of cardiovascular disease and stroke. Through hard work, dedication, and the local support, we have seen inspiring advances in the fight against heart and stroke-related illnesses. Let us remember that a single purpose drives all we do. Life. Life is why.
Scull Construction is proud to support the American Heart Association and its mission to build healthier lives free of cardiovascular disease and stroke. Tonight, Scull Construction would like you to put your heart into it and celebrate the physicians, donors, and volunteers whose dedication to this mission is truly a celebration of the heart.
Hi, I'm Holly Swee, Director of Nutrition for the South Dakota Beef Industry Council. As a registered dietitian, I understand the importance of evolving nutrition research. And that's why I want to share with you that thanks to Beef Checkoff Dollars, we have a large body of scientific evidence that shows that beef can be part of a heart-healthy, as well as cholesterol-lowering and blood pressure-lowering diet. This is especially important since we live in South Dakota, which is home to over 15,000 beef producers, many of which are family, friends, and neighbors, and we want to support them. So learn how to eat heart healthy with beef. You can find more information about this located at your place setting on the recipe card, or visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Hats off to our amazing South Dakota beef producers, and cheers to the American Heart Association. Have a great evening.
Good evening. First Interstate Bank is honored to once again sponsor this evening's Heart Ball. At First Interstate, taking care of our communities is a core value of our company. Supporting organizations that share this value is just one way we live our mission. Tonight we are proud to be here celebrating the generous volunteers and donors who support the American Heart Association. Together we have directly impacted the prevention and treatment of heart disease and stroke in our community. On a personal note, as a heart disease survivor, I would like to acknowledge the hardworking medical professionals that saved me. Without the dedication of these people, I know I would not be here, and I feel that there are many more people like me out there. So when you get the opportunity, please thank them for all they do. On behalf of First Interstate Bank, thank you for attending tonight's Hardball, and enjoy your evening.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the entire staff at Robert Sharp & Associates, I'd like to welcome you to this year's Hardball. It's our pleasure to join you in giving back to our great community. As for my employees and Robin, who did all the work, I'd like to applaud them and applaud the great efforts of all the volunteers, the donors, the doctors, and their staffs, and to congratulate tonight's honorees. The American Heart Association means so much to this area, so tonight, as we celebrate the advances made and the lives saved through the efforts of the American Heart Association, I'd like you to open your hearts, open your wallets, bid up those items, because it's all about raising money, lots of money, and have a wonderful time. Thank you for your support of the American Heart Association.